welcome to my Old School RuneScape video for the Perilous Moons quest, where I fight the Moons of Peril boss. So you need to be at higher level, you need to defeat all three in order to get the Lunar Chest reward, which has 500 to 7 million gold in rewards. So I'm in Nate Potsley after doing the Twilight's Promise quest. So first I'm going to fight the Blood Moon, and then you can fight the Blue Moon. I always do it in this order: Blood Moon, Blue Moon, and then Eclipse Moon, and then I get the reward chest. He's level, 329 like the rest of them. So I always use the Bandos Godsword on him. Let me use my special attack, which stacks. The more damage you do, the more you lower his defense with the special attack from the Bandos Godsword. Again, you want to use a crush attack versus this person, whereas you use slash versus Blood Moon. So I'm using the Bandos Godsword, stands for crush. So I just use my special attack. So this boss, I was down in like 2 rounds because it's super easy. So for this phase, he knocks you in the middle, and you just have to click once right away, and you hit him every single time. Eclipse Moon, TBH. Alright, so during this phase, you just have to hide behind the ball. Alright, so let's activate Piety. So Eclipse Moon is also very easy. So I'm using Osmumten's Fang for stab, because it's weak to stab. And essentially, you just step on the circles, and you keep punching. He does not absorb your health, similar to the Blood Moon, who absorbs your health. So let's open up my Lunar Chest again. Wow, I got the Blood Moon Tassets. Cringe. That's worth 7 million gold. That's huge. Obviously, here's my Ancient Emblem. So I managed to get an Ancient Emblem stream in the Revenant Cave after I got the 7 million gold Blue Moon Tassets from Perilous Moons. So if you check your log, which you get from the Varrock East Museum over here initially. So if you check your log, you can essentially get 16 million gold, 26 million gold from Crossbow in the Revenant Cave. So let's pick up my Ancient Emblem before someone else picks it up, because it's possible, but not right away. I always drop my stuff. So I'm going to run back with my Civitas Illifortis teleport tablet, but you could also teleport back at level 54 over here if you have the runes. But you get your Oculus Orb from Diango now for camera control, which is mad cool. Withdraw the Oculus Orb here. You click, you could scry with it. Okay. Press F1, you can see how you do it. So you could obviously talk about the game with the Oculus Orb. So it automatically teleports you to the next boss. And obviously I'm going to be using Osmumten's Fang and Bandos Godsword. So I'm going to be using Bandos Godsword and Osmumten's Fang. So Bandos Godsword has two stances. I'm going to use Slash for Blood Moon. I'm going to use Smash for Blue Moon. And then finally, I'm going to use Osmumten's Fang for the Eclipse Moon. So they have Sulfur and Aguas here, which aren't relevant. If you did a Kingdom Divided and Architectural Alliance to 100% quest, you unlocked Beneath Korend, or Catacombs of Korend. So there is a Kappa here, which charges up your running stamina. So let's go over and fight the Blood Moon. So essentially, I bring 5 prayer potions and sea turtles with me. Alright, nice. Okay. So this is the statue for the Blood Moon. I always drink my Divine Super Combat, which lasts for 4 minutes. I enable my prayer, Piety from Camelot Quest series, and Protect from Melee. Click the statue, and you essentially could kind of see what's going on from up there. So during this phase, I always turn off Protect from Melee, because he drains your life. The more damage you do to his Jaguars, the more healing with the purple that you get. So Blood Moon, he has Blood Moon armor on. He's level, 329 like the rest of them. So I always use the Bandos Godsword on him. Let me use my special attack, which stacks. The more damage you do, the more you lower his defense with the special attack from the Bandos Godsword. So 8s were pretty bad. You could do up to like 64 damage with it at my current level, and that would lower his stats significantly. So he has like 2 different attacks. Now he's switching over to the blood puddles. So during blood puddle phase, if you stay on them for too long, you take damage, and he heals double what damage you take. So this is a good phase to toggle off prayer if you're quick enough. And I like to use piety and protect from melee, because I think he heals personally a little bit more if you're careless with getting on the circles quick enough, unless you have protect from melee on. So you always get 5 attacks in, and now he's going to switch over to the Jaguar phase. So I'm going to do this and heal up a little bit, switch over to my Osmumten's Fang. And I like to use the 13 million gold Osmumten's Fang, because I feel like that I always toggle off protect from melee to save on prayer a little bit. I feel like this heals you the most, and you attack the Jaguar the most. The Bandos Godsword, like 30% of the time, can do better than Osmumten's Fang, but more often than not, it does not. Let's switch back to the Bandos Godsword, get a swing in, and then go over here. Let's toggle on protect from melee. So you essentially, if you're taking time to eat, then another meh special attack. If you're taking time to eat, then you're not DPSing him. You're not getting as many swings in. You're always supposed to heal during the blood puddles, while also not stepping on them. Alright, so let's toggle off this and my prayer. Let's drink up and heal up, and then avoid the blood puddles. I like to walk towards the center while the blood puddles appear, because that's basically where the circle to attack the Blood Moon boss will appear. So let's go over here. You got to make sure you don't step on the blood puddles after it appears. So normally after the blood puddles is when you're going to be defeating the boss, but I essentially didn't get the best special attacks in, so it might be another 2 rounds before I could defeat him. Nice, beat him. So let's toggle off my prayer. After you fight him, you can make a Kappa. So here are Moonlight Moths. I'm gonna hurry up. Let's change my stance to smash and fight the Blue Moon. So the Moonlight Moths, if you somehow have 75 Hunter, which you won't ever do, then you could heal up your prayer by putting them in a jar and taking hunting supplies from the crate there. So let's head into the Blue Moon boss fight. So if you join in while this is happening, you just wait a little bit, because the browsers will automatically light up. If a tentacle hits you while you're normally doing it, then you toggle back on run and you just light both of them, and then the next phase starts. So that's one of his attacks. His other one is an ice block, which you punch and avoid spikes. So Blue Moon is way easier than Blood Moon. So again, you want to use a crush attack versus this person, whereas you use slash versus Blood Moon. So I'm using the Bandos Godsword stands for crush, so I just use my special attack. So this boss I was down in like 2 rounds because it's super easy. If I get lucky on the special attack, it's like almost like 1.5 rounds. So here comes the next phase. I'm going to toggle off my prayer, eat up a little bit, and start punching. So you could change your stance for the punch too, so you can get a little bit of defensive training in your stats if you want. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, so you just punch twice and then you get off. There's going to be 2 extra rounds of that. So let me toggle on Piety, go over here, do another special attack on Blue Moon. Nice. So I might be able to defeat the boss this time if I get 2 lucky hits in. But it looks like it's going to go 1 more round. Yeah. So I have beaten the person in this round before, but never lucky. Alright, so let's run to the left, avoid the tentacles. It's very easy to. When they hit you, you have to essentially toggle back on run. And this person barely heals, like an insignificant amount. So they made the running like super nice for avoiding obstacles. So Blue Moon is level 329. So let's reactivate Piety. Heal up a little bit. After you light both browsers, then you go over here and you keep fighting the boss. I'm going to do another special attack because try to defeat it in this round. I'm getting unlucky with my hits, so I'll probably have to do another round. Yeah, I have to do another round. No, I don't. Nice. Okay. I think that's because my Divine Super Combat ran out. So let's drink some Prayer Potion. So I go right into the Blood Moon. I mean, I could go right into the Eclipse Moon. Wait. Alright, so after you defeat the Blue Moon, you can right click, make a cuppa here. You could fish over here if you have your fishing supplies from right here. But I don't need to because my character is a pretty high level. You could also capture Moonlight Moss. So I'm going to equip Osmumten's Fang and get ready for this boss fight. So let's heal up, drink my Prayer Potion, enable my prayers. You don't really need Protect from melee from Blue Moon or from Eclipse Moon, TBH. Alright, so during this phase, you just have to hide behind the ball. Alright, so let's activate Piety. So Eclipse Moon is also very easy. So I'm using Osmumten's Fang for stab, because it's weak to stab. And essentially, you just step on the circles, and you keep punching. He does not absorb your health, similar to the Blood Moon, who absorbs your health. So for this phase, he knocks you in the middle, and you just have to click once right away, and you hit him every single time, which is great because you do a ton of damage to him. This would be cool, like if you think about Theater of Blood or like TOA, like fighting vampires and werewolves. Those are two other raids. Theater of Blood, you need to do, I think, the Myri quest series for the most part, and then TOA. To unlock TOA, you need to do Beneath Cursed Sands, which has like 6 relevant quests. I think it takes way longer to do the quest line for Theater of Blood to unlock it than it does to unlock TOA. So the TOA raid, there's also Chambers of Zarek raid, which has, I don't think, any quest requirements. And then lastly, there is, alright, so let's go over here, heal up, stay behind this thing, toggle off my prayer. I move like 2 paces at a time. I always do this perfect, like every single time. Because I practice agility up to like level 70 in the wilderness. You can get like this 1 ticket, so you could collect Blighted Mana Rays while doing that from level 60 onwards after you train in Canifis. Obviously for agility I train in the Gnome Stronghold, Tree Gnome Stronghold, and then, alright, so I'm about to beat this boss. And then I train in Alcarid at level 20 to 30, and then I train at Varrock from 30 to 40. Then I train at Canifis from 40 to 60, and then Wilderness from 60 plus. If you get PvP too much, you can do Monkey Madness too, except not really. And you could train at Ape Atoll. So let me drink up my prayer, and I'm going to go fishing. You right click, you take from fishing supplies, and then you left click the fishing spot. And you could cook your food. I just heal up so I can max out my fishing. So this is a good way to train your fishing. I leveled up to 55 to do barbarian training and get the Hunter Lance, Dragon Hunter Lance, which does more damage versus reptilians, like dragons or hydras or worms in Arceus. So yeah, Monkey Madness 2 you'll never be able to do. You essentially need like Hunter level 65. Song of the Elves you'll never be able to do because you need Hunter level 70 and Farming level 70, and that has Seren in it. So Seren could be compared to the Maiden of Sugatini in Theater of Blood. I know Char in RuneScape 3 and Firemaker's Curse, she gets betrayed by, I think, Zamorak. So RS3 is slightly different than Old School RuneScape, because RuneScape 3 has, both on the Jagex launcher, RuneScape 3 has, let me go to the Lunar Chest. Alright, so let's bank all. You get a random item up to 500k or 180k to like 7 million in gold rewards. So let's continue to the Blood Moon, and it just repeats after that. So yeah, RS3 is different than Old School RuneScape, because RS3 has City of Sintistan in it, and Zamorak is all around. It's possible that maybe Zamorak is inside of this black stone in here within the Moons of Peril, because that was Varlamore part 1 of 3. So I know Sliske was in Desert Treasures 2 quest, and he had his cage with a key in it, and he talks about like being in a cage or something. So Sliske, he has his end game. Alright, so I'm going to toggle back to Slash for Blood Moon, drink up my Divine Super Combat, and get ready for the Blood Moon boss fight. He has dual Machiohito armor. Dual Machiohito is so good. It was only 1 million gold when it first started, and it went up to like 5 million. It has really good... It's better than the Bandos Godsword versus the Revenant Dragons, for sure, with the full Blood Moon armor set. And it downs dragons so fast, like insanely fast. So let me use my special attacks. So let's go over here and fight the Jaguar. So this is essentially Coliseum training, and you get to fight really cool bosses and make a ton of gold. The gold at this level with the 7 million tassets, since they optimize getting certain items that you haven't gotten yet. So you have a 1 in 252 chance to get like a 7 million gold item, or maybe 2 in 52, or 3, or 5. So you just have to beat all 3 bosses, you get the check marks, and then essentially you're able to, let's do Protect from Melee. I always like to do Protect from Melee on him, because sometimes I don't get into the circle quick enough. So after 2 more swings, I'm going to get ready to heal up. Turn off my prayers. Drink my prayer potion really quick, because you don't want to step on the blood puddle for too long. You could step off it once you step on it, and he still doesn't heal up double what the damage you take. So back to RS3. Sliske has a quest called Sliske's Endgame, where the Eclipse appears. In RuneScape 3, you could change the skybox filter at the top right by clicking the globe, and essentially you could change the lighting or the time of day. So I beat the Blood Moon here, and he appears in Sliske's Endgame in Old School RuneScape. So the stories are slightly different, because RuneScape 3 has City of Sintistan and Zamorak is all around, and then Old School RuneScape, Zamorak's not around yet. So yeah, I mean, let's switch my stance for the Blue Moon to Smash for my Bandos Godsword. I also have the Lightbearer Ring equipped. So the Lightbearer Ring essentially lets enable Piety. I have 2 minutes left of my Divine Super Combat. So the Lightbearer Ring recharges your special attack 15% faster, which is super good. So yeah, I mean, in like the My Request series, they have this whole thing about like vampires invading, crossing the River South. Queen Ephorate is, she looks like Commander Ziliana in Old School RuneScape. So let's toggle off Piety and run towards this browser. I think it's the faster you get to the browser, the better. So just run through. Don't really think about it, because that's just wasting time. Because the faster you beat the boss, the better. You could just heal up anyway. Alright, perfect. But look at the maneuverability. Huge. Huge. Let's toggle back on running, because I got hit by a tentacle. So my Divine Super Combat, I still have a minute left. If you're ever eating, you want to double click the boss again to toggle back on swinging. So yeah, this is a good way to train for the Coliseum and stuff. which is also in Varlamore, part 1 of 3. They recently made the rolls pretty hard in the Coliseum, the random rolls. So let's go into the Eclipse Moon boss fight, and I could save even more Divine Super Combat potions if I happen to start the phase where has you in the middle, because I still have my Divine Super Combat for 1 minute. So alright, I joined during the circle. It usually ends pretty quickly after like 1 or 2 rounds when you join in progress. So that final circle is pretty tricky because you have to do 3 steps instead of 4, instead of 2. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so Sidious and Tiston has like all the gods in it, which is mad cool. Oh, I didn't switch over to Osmosis Fang. Bando's God Sword is still pretty good. You could, like, I guess, lower his stats with the Bando's God Sword. Alright, so my Divine Super Combat ran out. Let's heal up. I'm not going to enable Protect for Melee for this boss. So, yeah, let's click. The faster you click, I like double clicking. Mostly because I normally play with 2 accounts. So if you toggle off of one screen, I mean, obviously I'll be looking at this screen during this time. Yeah, so you get a ton of damage in right there. Toned. Alright, so I defeated them, what was that, 2 times? Alright, so let's eat up. And then fish for the next round. So I normally defeat them like 3 times in 30 minutes. What was that? I think that was the 3rd time. Yeah, it was. They go super fast. So let me drink my prayer potion. Use my raw bream. Meme at the... They have such good cooking animations in both of the games. Let's right click and make a cuppa and continue. So RS3, a good way to make money is easy clue scrolls on goblins. And once you max your combat stats on the 3 times a year. Alright, let's open up the Lunar Chest. Alright, nice. And once you max out your combat stats from the 3 times double XP events, and essentially do your daily challenges, and let's switch back to my sword slash for the Blood Moon. So I always use my combat dummies during make a cuppa. I always use my I always use my combat dummies during the double EXP events, which happen 3 times a year. And once you max that out, you can just fight the Archglade Core with an Elder Rune set. Alright, so let's do Piety, Protect for Melee, get 1 swing in. Nice. Got another swing in. Turn that off. Avoid the blood puddles. Just check your healing and prayer real quick. You could step on the puddle, but as long as you step off. I like to go into the center. Oh, there's a blood puddle there. Oops. Avoided. Let's save a little bit on prayer because my health is high. You don't really need to do Protect for Melee, but I find that he absorbs way more health if you're not on the circle and you don't have Protect for Melee on. Because he heals double the damage he does. And if he does 7 damage, then he heals 14. And then, but if he only does 2, he only heals 4. So you heal when you hit the Jaguar. I like to leave Piety on during this phase because you heal a little bit more. And I think he heals a little bit less, possibly. Alright, so let's switch back to my Bando's God Sword, eat some food, pray up, enable my prayers, and get ready to switch to damage. So let's swing, hit him, and then get back into the circle. Go for the special. So that one is very important because I was far away. So I need to make sure I both hit him and don't let him absorb a lot. So I can make sure I defeat him in at least the next one when the blood puddles spawn. Nice. Alright, so let's heal up. Because if you happen to heal during the Jaguar one, he essentially, I think, absorbs a little bit more health because you're not hitting him. There we go. So I don't need Protect from Melee on. That's just a waste of prayer. Let's go for more hits. I think the more you are in the circle, the less he is likely to hit you. And if you get all 5 hits in, then you're pretty good. Nice. So I saved on prayer. Alright, let's make a Kappa. Switch my stance over to Smash. And go fight the Blue Moon. So this is round 4. Alright, enable Piety. I'm going to drink my Divine Super Combat Potion. Head down there now. Toggle on my special attack. Nice. 52. Huge hit. Now every subsequent hit is going to do a lot of damage. And the special attack, it stacks. So that's always useful. So the next special attack could do even more. So I got him to 184 in one. So that was pretty good. So let's avoid all the tentacles. Oh, I messed up. Oh, I avoided it. Nice. Perfect. So enable Piety. Heal up a little bit. Drink up my prayer potion. Alright, let's go over here. Get another attack in. So I might be able to finish this person off this round. Just because of how good my first hit was. Alright, here comes another special attack. 27. No. Oh yeah. Nice. I get one more attack. 2 more attacks. Here's a chance to defeat him. Perfect. Alright, let's make a Kappa. Switch over to Osmumten's Fang. So I still have 3 minutes on my Divine Super Combat. Drink up some prayer. So they, like, while you're working on Slisuke's endgame, they actually have a Lava Waterfall quest with Seren. They have a Fragment of Seren quest where Seren kind of looks like Maiden of Sugadinti. Right, so Piety. Fight the Eclipse boss with the stab weapon. So I think, again, the second attack after the special attack is 50% more accurate. So you don't really need to use 2 special attacks in a row unless you want the special attack to be 50% more accurate. Because the special attack does 15% more damage than the normal attack. Alright, so I'm in the middle here. Let's toggle on Piety, obviously. If you're bad at clicking, you do Protect from Melee or low on health. Because he hits you a lot if you miss. But imagine missing out on this game. Because you could be playing RuneScape 3 at the same time. Right? Because you can buy 500 keys and get 500 keys free. My favorite key events are obvious. Oh, I beat him in 1 round? Jeez. That was huge. Alright, so yeah, my favorite key events are 500 keys, get 500 free. And I use keys during loot rooms, which are my favorite. Tinkerer's Trail, which is my second favorite. Loot Duel, which is pretty good. And then during Mysterium, if you Google RS3, key events or whatever, or key schedule, I think it's RS3 Treasure Hunter schedule. Alright, let's switch back. Then you could see when each of the things are each week. Alright. That's worth a ton. Let's go sell that off right now. Okay, so I'm not actually going to sell that off right now, because that's worth, I think, 7 million gold or something. So I get a ton of food for cheap, which makes sense, because I got 2 ancient totems. If you look at my kill log over here, I played for 116 days. So my revenants, I've defeated 12,241. In my second Dragon Claws video, like a minute in, I showed my revenant kills like 2 weeks ago, which was 11,000. So these ancient relics are worth 16 million gold each in the Revenant Cave. And the crossbow currently is worth like 26 million because the web weaver is worth so much. It's relative to the web weaver. This is worth 2 million gold. I lost this in PvP. So even though I only had like 2 items worth a lot of gold, I still lost it. I think maybe actually I had the Zamorak God Sword too, and I just needed to toggle protect extra item and to keep it. So the Amulet of Avarice, you can put that on. It puts a PvP skull on your head, but you do way more damage to revenants. So if you're OP and you manage to get Ursine's Chain Mace for cheap, like at 2 million gold, which wouldn't be a lot if you doubled your gold, because that's 1 million gold, then you can put this on, fight like the Revenant Maledictus, which makes you do even more damage to revenants. So if you beat the Revenant Maledictus and have the Amulet of Avarice on, you could essentially just chain mace Revenant Dragons for 30 minutes and get like a ton of drops. So yeah, the Ancient Relic was worth 16 million. So I got 2 of those. And then my armor fell like 30 million gold. And I wasn't able to do Moons of Peril for quite a bit, because I switched over to Blighted Mana Rays at like 430 gold, all in, and then it went down to 300. So I was stuck without armor, while the armor was pretty high, but the armor ended up falling an extra 10 million after I sold it. So I rebought it, which was good. All right, so I have Slash Stance enabled. Yeah, so essentially I re-got my armor for 10 million gold less. And then Osmumten's Fang also fell 10 million gold from 26 to 13 million gold. So I got it on both of the counts for 10 million gold less. So that was like a 30 million gold save. Plus I got the Dexterous Prayer Scroll for like 10 million gold less. Because it was normally like 30 million. And at level 74 prayer, you can, after you read it once, it's a one-time use, you can take less damage from ranged as a prayer. I'm only at 73 prayer, but thankfully the bones that you get as rewards here, Wormling Bones, they have like 50% more prayer XP than Infernal Ashes from the Brimhaven Volcano Demons. So that's some good training there. Alright, so let's go to the Jaguar. They only give 21 prayer, but that's still pretty good. Because Vile Ashes, I mean, not Infernal Ashes. So the Vile Ashes from Brimhaven Volcano Demons, they only do 15, whereas Wormling Bones do 21. So it is a little bit easier. Osmumten's Fang is way better than the Voidwaker, which is pretty cool. Because, like, the Voidwaker, it's good if you have super high magic level. But that's, like, super hard to do. My character happens to have a super high magic level. Which is cool, because the Voidwaker essentially does damage based on your magic level. So, it's very rare to be actually a good sword. But Osmumten's Fang is like somehow super cheap, which is nice. I got it. I was able to use it super late, after I already trained like basically up to this level, but you need like 82 attack in order to use it. So my other account can't use it yet, but I got it for cheaper. So yeah, I fell from like 150 gold, 150 million gold to like 78 million left, which is pretty crazy. After obviously my web weavers fell, I bought them at 40 million gold. When I did my grotesque guardians, I bought 2 of them, and it fell to from I had 80 million gold. I fell all the way to like almost not being able to afford a Bandos Godsword. So essentially it was like 80 million to like 30 million left, or like 25 million left or something, which is pretty crazy. But I had the Blighted Man raised to 540 gold, which is huge. They went up to 800, but I wasn't risking it in case like it fell back down. So I tried it that way, I guess. And then, but now I have a second shot at the Blighted Anglerfish. I have a ton. I have like 20k at 440 gold, and it was usually at 1300, just like the Blighted Man raise. So that's pretty huge. I also got sea turtles for 1075 instead of 1400 for the mana raise, because food and prayer potions, obviously prayer potions due to this are in high demand. Sea turtles and normal food for sailing update is pretty required. And then lastly, I locked in like 3 million of sea turtles, so my food in the non-wilderness is guaranteed for a long time. Oh, one off from another quick phase, because I had a quick blood moon phase and a quick eclipse moon. That was pretty close to like a PB of all 3. I think it might have been a PB because my blue moon was really quick last time as well. So there's always an extra round of spikes. I mean, 2 rounds. I don't know if I could do more damage if I use strength, but I don't want to know. I'll use defense. Alright, so let's make a Kappa. I probably ran out of Divine Super Combat right at the end. Yeah, so it looks like I was able to do 5 this time with 1 extra prayer potion. I mean, I could probably keep going for super long if I were to have even more prayer, because you could just make food, right? Just the more prayers you have, the more you're able to do. It was just finding out the blood moon mechanics for the most part. Yeah, I beat the Eclipse Moon super fast the last time. Like, I joined in during this ball, so I had like a ton of extra hits. Yeah, but every single time I essentially run by here, I avoid getting hit. It's pretty huge. Yeah, while Guthix sleeps, gives a ton of EXP rewards. Monkey Madness 2 will give a ton of EXP rewards. Monkey Madness 1 gave like a ton of EXP rewards via the Dragon Scimitar being better. But I mean, the Sulfur Scimitars in here are pretty good for training like normally. which is pretty cool. I took an extra hit there. Because they have dual wielded Sulfur Nagua drops. So that's pretty good for training relative to the Dragon Scimitar. So there's no reason to fish because I ran out of prayer, arguably. I could go another round and probably win, but that's fine. So, yeah, I mean, the dual Macula Heedle was, I mean, and all the armor in this event went up like 4 times gold while the Blighted Manta Ray went up a ton of gold as well. So you essentially had like, let's right click and teleport to Edgeville with the, you got to make sure you wear the Amulet of Glory because the salve shard, the salve necklace, which you make with salve shards from Haunted Mind Quest and Ball of Wool, those are really good. But essentially, if you, all right, let's withdraw these as notes and all, so I could sell off a lot of them. You need to teleport to Morton for that, and you need to do the Haunted Mind Quest. I'm going to keep the Grimy Hardlander to train Herblore. You need to do a Haunted Mind Quest in order to... So Sun-Kissed Bones and I think Blessed Bone Shards you can sacrifice at the altar at the top of Mount Keto Mortem for extra prayer EXP as well, which is huge. I don't know if they're stacked and you could just sacrifice them all at once, which is pretty huge because I got locked out of prayer training. Not really. And, I mean, I also got locked out of magic training. Not really. So, my R3 account is, I'm going to keep the Blood Moon Helm and just get a Blood Moon armor set, I think. Alright, let's teleport to Varrock because I don't have Ring of Wealth. So Ring of Wealth, you could actually buy an imbued version, and you get clue scrolls more often as drops in this game, which I assume you could re-roll and get a ton of gold if you have the Ring of Wealth on. So Ring of Wealths are super huge. And they obviously go to the GE directly, which is very important. Alright, so let's sell off my Blue Moon Tassets and buy a ton of Blighted Angler. Wow, 7.3 million gold for the Blue Moon Tassets from so my Blue Moon Tassets are worth 7.3 million gold in Old School RuneScape. So I got 7,138,000 for the Blue Moon Tassets from the Perilous Moons or Moons of Peril from the Lunar Chest, which is huge. So I'm just going to buy Blighted Food for the Wilderness because you have like a 10,000 buy limit, and essentially it heals 22, the Blighted Anglerfish. It's as good as the Blighted Manta Ray if your HP level is over 92, because it heals relative to that. If it's under 89 to 90, if it's 89 to 92, it only heals 17. But if your HP is over 92, it heals 22. So it makes sense for me to buy these. So I mean, I could buy more sea turtles, obviously, because they're basically as big as. I'm just gonna buy 1,000 of them. They're basically as big as. Let's buy prayer potions. Nice. And combat. So I'm going to buy Divine Super Combat Potions. Maybe I could just buy a ton of combat potions. I see everyone's trying to PvP. They're all running to the GE right now. So let's see if I could just buy them like this. So I don't have to make any of them. Yeah, everyone's running to the GE, trying to PvP. So 26,800. That's a good price for those. Alright, I'll just have to do a ton of vials. $26,800. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. So I could obviously buy my Zamorak Godsword straight up right now. It's only 20 million gold. And I have a ton of blighted anglerfish, so I could just sell that off. So that's essentially guaranteed. My Bandos Godsword's locked in. My second web weaver is not locked in. Not that I care. I mean, obviously for like rating, it's probably huge. So the Revenant Cave essentially gives equivalent to Perilous Moons, but currently Perilous Moons gives way more than the Revenant Cave overall. Like 8 hours of that was 7 million gold. So 8 hours of that was like 8,500,000 gold actually, because I made like 1.5 million normally. So, but Revenant Cave, I mean, you could get like a 24 million gold drop at any time. I do have to animate obviously each of the Perilous Moons, like Zamper and Adobe Animate, which I showed how to do and create a 3D logo from start to finish. So all the steps. It's just upsetting because if you use too many colors, or if like the colors are and the line, if you first of all, if your lines are too small and not thick, or there's not much distance between the colors, you may get too small shapes to create a shape from vector layer, which could be upsetting. And then if your lines aren't thick enough, that also matters. But as long as you create the shapes from vector layer, I always just color over too detailed kind of things in order to, so every time I go back to the Revenant Cave, I take off all this, I deposit it, and I always use it as Mumton's Fang versus the Revenant Knights now. But I mean, the Revenant Dark Beasts are very good to fight with the Bandos Godsword, or the Voidwaker, and the Osmumten's Fang. So Osmumten's Fang has slightly less slash than Voidwaker. So obviously the Voidwaker is super good versus, I already have a combat bracelet. I bring stamina potions, blighted anglerfish. Blighted Karambuan is super cheap as well right now. It used to be like 300, now it's only 250. It was at 150 before, which is huge. So you could have made gold there as well, because it rallied before anything else. Alright, so let's get my wealth ring. And it rallied super fast, like in 1 week. So it was like one and done. So the more you had, the more chance you had at getting it. Wow. So the Ring of Wealth just, now they're charging me a little bit more because I just bought out the entire GE. So yeah, they're clue scrolling it up right now. So like right now, I think at least like 20 web weavers are connected to clue scrolls. So yeah, Osmumten's Fang is the best overall, except versus the Revenant Dragons in the Revenant Cave. So you pay 100k gold to get in here, and I'm going to drink my Divine Super Combat, enable Piety. So I'm only using a combat bracelet because I'm super OP. So I always go for a special attack right there, and another attack he'll have to heal up. Again, you have like the 50% extra accuracy. He could do 22 damage and knock you out. So I use Piety and Combat Bracelet, but you can use Bracelet of Ethereum, charge up with Ether to take less damage if you're weaker. And you could stay longer, but you're always going to get PvP'd and you only keep 3 items, but you keep 4 if you do Protect Item level 25 prayer. Alright, so right there I could have lost if I didn't heal up, because he could do 22 damage. So you obviously want Piety on, and to do extra damage to him. You could down him pretty fast. Alright, so if you PvP though, then essentially you risk all your items if you lose, which you will. There's the exit right there. And the Salve Amulet, you do extra damage, 15% extra. So I wear that instead of the Amulet of Glory because it's cheaper. Arguably, unless the Morton teleport goes up more. So I like to drink my stamina potion so I can run in the cave more. I normally fight knights because knights and dragons have the best drops. And then Revenant Dark Beasts. And then Revenant Demons, then Revenant Dogs, and then Pyres. In that order, because that's how difficult they are to fight. So, Osmoten's Fang, the demons are weak to slash, the knights are weak to stab, Osmoten's Fang. And then, so I could switch this over to slash, right over here. So, this has actually a pretty good slash effect. I think it's maybe worthwhile to switch to slash. Yeah, it just trains up strength though. And then, obviously, you switch your stance. It has stab for both of these. Obviously, my strength is a higher level. And if you defeat an enemy when they're at more than half health, usually, then you'll get the loot. So I make my way through the cave. The Dark Beast, you have to go into the corner here or stand here to teleport away. Pyres, you stand here to teleport away. You have to be under level 30 Wilderness and use Purple Jewelry to teleport out. Level 20 Wilderness, you can use Teleport Tablets or Games Necklace or Blue Jewelry to teleport away. There's always people PvPing in here, so anytime you make a little bit of gold, it makes sense to run away. Let's go near the Revenant Dark Beasts. They also have dudes over here. So you could set your spawn point at the Ferox Enclave for 5 million gold, and you could go in the back door into the Revenant Cave a little bit faster. Alright, so show my world is dumb. You could hide what world you're on if you're streaming. You could you could reorder the order of the worlds. So I always switch worlds when there's too many people, and then I fight the enemy. So when my Divine Super Combat runs out, essentially, then it makes no sense to really stay in here unless you're fighting easier enemies. So, but they could drop super restores. If you don't have piety enabled as well, it's kind of a waste of time. So, basically working with that. But normally it makes sense to have your Bracelet of Ethereum on, but it costs like 43,000 gold. So if you have a super OP weapon, you don't need to use that and risk as much gold. So if I lose, obviously I keep my Combat Bracelet, my Osmoten's Fang, and my Lightbearer Ring. And if I do Protect item, I also keep my Ring of Wealth. Yeah, so for some reason people aren't PvPing near the Revenant Dark Beast a lot. Because if they don't teleblock you, because here's a teleblock spell, you get Blighted Teleport stack. So I could, if I have a Battle Staff, it increases my my spell accuracy a little bit more. But yeah, you get Blighted Entangles as well, and you could instead of this one, you could Blighted Entangle dudes over here, which makes them stand still for 15 seconds. And if you have Bloodbark armor on, you can make them stand still for like, I don't know, 18 or 19 seconds. It might be Swamp Bark or something. It's Blood something. So you could entangle for slightly longer. And they drop battle staffs in here. They drop dragon stuff. So arguably this area, it has slightly better drops than Perilous Moons. Except currently Perilous Moons on average has way better drops than the Revenant Cave. Arguably, but I've gotten to 16 million ancient whatevers because I played for a ton of hours. I was there for like I was training for the Coliseum. I trained my defense from 70 to 75, and I was doing like 4 hours a day. Oh wow, someone has a super rare Dark Beast from Theater of Blood, who's one of the bosses. You rarely ever see this version of it, because they open like a dark portal or something. Right, so let me sell off my loot here. So if you do Theater of Blood, you get the 1 billion gold Scythe the Viter, which is charged with blood, and it attacks 4 hit splats. Dual Makuhita hits 2 hit splats. So I could sell off all my ether as well as any bracelets I get, which is pretty huge. Let me drink up some more stamina, and I'll bring one more extra prayer potion and one more of these. So, alright. Teleport. So I could go right to the Revenant Dark Beasts, because that's a very good area to train. The Web Weavers are super OP in the cave. Once you hit like level 84 ranged, you need 70 to use it. And I trained ranged with like iron knives and then steel knives up to like mithril, and then I use mithril crossbow and mithril bolts up until rune. And basically the time you get runite crossbow and runite bolts, at that time you could basically use any bow and amethyst arrows, which cost a little bit more, but sometimes amethyst arrows are slightly cheaper. And then I essentially at 60 to 70 I use the dark bow special attack, which has 2 hit splats I think, and you shoot 2 amethyst arrows, which is huge. And you could use the special attack with the light bearer ring to do even more damage. And I fight people in Ardunzu the entire time, because they can't hit you and you could hit them inside the cage, so that removes the negative. And they have a ton of health, like 50 health, 50 level, so you could essentially fight them for super long and they can't hit you. So you could use divine ranging potions as well to level faster. But yeah, I had like no gold when I trained my second account, so I couldn't buy like the Robin Hood hat for 1.5 million or the Archer's ring for 5 million or divine ranging potion. Well, I could buy divine ranging potions. And since I didn't do Dragon Slayer, I couldn't equip the green d'hide body at like level 30 to do more damage. But I could equip the green d'hide van braces, and I could equip the green d'hide legs for extra range damage. But the amethyst arrows were super cheap, which is pretty good. So, and I also got, obviously, yeah, the amethyst arrows. I got them at like 190, and I bought extra, and I sold them at 260, and then I rebought them at 220. So my range training was actually almost free, which was, normally it's like 10 million gold to level 70 at least. Alright, so right now is a good time to run out of the cave, but I'm feeling lucky because Revenant Dark Beast, and you down them super fast. So I have 1 minute left in my Divine Super Combat Potion, so I can teleport out here and here. So whenever you're getting attacked, let's go over here, toggle off auto retaliate. So he did not use block teleport, so it's hard to teleport out with the Web Weaver. So let's go over here. I'll use teleport block, so I can't teleport away. But I could try to Blighted Entangle sack him and then step inside where the person is and switch worlds. So I'm just going to do a protect extra item. And while you're PvPing, you could step inside the person and then back up and hit them again as well, which is pretty huge. So this is the statue for underneath Karen by doing 100% Architectural Alliance. If you do Kingdom Divided, which has Queen Ziliana from the Varlamore area. So they were talking about in Beneath Cursed Sands how some like snake or something that was venomous, like, I don't know. And then Stolen Hearts in RuneScape 3 has like similar questline as Tombs of Maskets, because it features what's his name? Alright, so you lose your salve amulets when you lose. So you have to re-equip them. Alright. So I lost 100k gold there. So you have to buy back in to get back into the cave. So drink my Divine Super Combat. But I mean, the drops here are normally 30k on average. But if you factor in like the 26 million, then let me switch back to stab. If you factor in... Alright, so as long as you get out of the cave, you can keep 100k. So that's normally what I like to do with the Zamorak Godsword. Because you could hit the person and they're frozen for 17 seconds, and then, or 10 seconds or so, and you could try to run away. So he's level 116, so I'd say I could get out unless he Bandos Godswords me and melees me. But since I'm not fighting back, it looks like he's not going to do it, but he could. Alright, Super Protect for melee. He's going to freeze me one more time, but I might be able to get out. Close. I'm not going to hit him, because if I accidentally knock him out, that would be pretty... Because someone else could show up and knock him out as well, because PvP is so rampant. So he's probably nervous right now, I'd say, to some degree. And obviously my weapons are super powerful, so I gave him an extra wealth rank. It makes no sense for them to PvP, to be honest, except for YouTube videos and enabling big head mode in GTA Remastered in Vice City by shooting the moon. But besides that, it makes zero sense. So I think my combat bracelet is already equipped. No, I lost that too. Alright, so let's head back to the cave. So you can teleport back to Ranging Guild or Champions Guild with the combat bracelet, and it's pretty good. Close enough to a bank. Champions Guild is in Varrock. Dragon Slayer 2, you need like 200 quest points, so the holiday quests help a lot. Obviously you have to do a few extra quests as well for that. And I think you need to train construction as well, which is unfortunate, but equipping armor gives you a little bit of boost here. So that's pretty good. I didn't even drink my Divine Super Combat. I still downed that dude. But yeah, what's really cool is essentially I switched to OBS indistinguishable quality. So I can record for 2 hours and it's only like 2 gigabytes when I'm doing Beneath Cursed Sands. But while doing Perilous Moons, 2 hours is like 8 gigabytes. Because it has more advanced graphics. So the more advanced graphics, the more memory you use, first of all. And then OBS lossless for 2 hours of an advanced game is like 500 gigabytes. And I always record to my external hard drive, but like 1.5 hours of just Revenant caving is like 200 gigabytes. So I I would have to convert. Let's use Slash Dance for him. I would have to convert with a Handbrake, because OBS lossless you can't. Handbrake's a free software program, and you can't edit it in Adobe if it's not in a nice encoding. Like OBS lossless, you have to use VLC Media Player to preview it, and normally you used to be able to jump to a point in VLC Media Player, because at like 1 hour in, you can't really. You have to wait after 1 point, like 1 hours. You have to wait now to view parts after if you want to take a screen cap. But you used to be able to jump to the time. They removed that though, as of like 6 months ago. And now obviously OBS lossless, I can't even do it. Maybe I can because I enabled overclocking on my PC in Alienware Command Center, because you can change the color of your tower with that. I updated my drivers, obviously that still didn't work. I reinstalled OBS. You update your drivers in GeForce Experience. I could press Alt and Z and stream with GeForce Experience instead of OBS Studio, but when I initially tried that, when I was playing, while I was playing Halo Infinite, it would freeze after 1 hour, but they fixed it when I reported it. It would freeze after 1 hour, like every single time. It wouldn't freeze, it would just end the stream. So it's like, how is the stream ending with GeForce Experience? I don't know if you have to opt in for it to not end. But overall, their product was just broken, and OBS Studio is free. And I mean, NVIDIA GeForce Experience is on every single GeForce computer in the world. I mean, on every NVIDIA computer in the world. So it's like, how is this not working? I didn't even know it existed, which is a meme, because I used to listen to NVIDIA earnings calls like every quarter for quite some time. So they would talk about self-driving technology and like smart cars or whatever, and how like their chips are in Tesla, like a ton of them are in Teslas, which is huge because obviously the Tesla market includes the trucking market, and essentially, and in 2025 may include, well, 2025 it's going to be trucking, which is huge. It's like $100 billion market, but in like 2027 it's going to include airplanes as well, which Elon Musk tweeted about once. So obviously NVIDIA being guaranteed, essentially that makes it like a tank of a chip, but you never know, maybe Intel is the one that's going to tank the airplanes. Like Intel has been quiet for some time, so maybe they're prepping to be like the Tesla or the NVIDIA of airplane chips, because they're probably even more secure, or maybe better suited for that type of stuff. Because Intel, they were in the iPhone, and then they were out of the iPhone, and I know Qualcomm had both Apple, which was July 2020, so the stock went from like 120 to 135 July earnings report. So that's when Qualcomm essentially took over the iPhone market for chips, and they were also in Huawei, which is the Chinese Apple, as big as Apple, but they recently, Qualcomm's not in Huawei anymore. So they used to get subscription revenue by being in Huawei, so they lost that market, but they're in the iPhone market. I know with the export controls, China increased, they became from 14 to 40% of chip maker revenue, which is huge. So that means the Chinese chip market is growing exponentially for some companies. So obviously, and that's just China. So their technology Obviously, they have JD e-commerce, which is, I can't even begin. Like, that is Amazon times like 10. Their engineering. They deliver iPhones at JD. I saw a YouTube video of the robotics in their factories, and they shrink wrap all the iPhones. So that means they have highly advanced levels of transportation and capabilities of moving highly advanced technology. So JD, obviously, if you buy 1 year out calls right now, you'll probably make 1000% guaranteed. Like Soxel is the 3 times bullish chip market. It went up 650% in the past 2 years because of how big the chip market became. But yeah, now that we're moving past chips, like in 2015 again, obviously Tesla's going to be huge as well, but not as huge as e-commerce, arguably, at least for a little bit, because you need to pay to make all of the trucks, but the trucks could be made in the currently existing factories, or so we think. But yeah, e-commerce is huge. Like JD hasn't grown at all in a decade, and Alibaba was buying their own airplanes in 2017. So Alibaba obviously has their own transport network as well. And Alibaba's also invested in EV market via Xpeng. So if you read, I think, I forget what the report is, they reveal what their investments are. So like 20% of their investments are in EVs. And if Xpeng, XPENG, if that goes up, then obviously the intangible assets or whatever by them is a profit line item. So if that goes up, then their profit line goes up as well, because it's essentially like they own that market, and profit is the only thing that matters. So if when Xpeng goes up, Alibaba goes up, and then Alibaba also goes up normally as well. But JD is a smaller market cap, so they could go up way more, and they have higher revenue, but they're not invested in the EV market. So technically Alibaba is way bigger because their profit margin is going to improve significantly because they own their own airplanes. So being able to own the airplanes, they could charge like servers. So like how JD could charge for their servers, but Alibaba couldn't charge for their servers, because they could fly everything around. But JD has more warehouse space than Amazon and Walmart, so you have to be, you have to be very uneducated, because they have more warehouse space than Amazon and possibly Walmart, according to their square footage on their earnings report. So if you don't own them, you don't make sense. Like, I'm not allowed to work because I know this. Like their earnings report, it says that they have more warehouse space than Amazon. So even if I worked right now, it would have been pointless because I would have just bought 1 year out all in JD calls all year. So obviously, getting in on exactly when the perilous moons is starting to go down is obviously what this game is talking about. Like, they released the Void Waker near where the chip market started doing well, because they were like, oh yeah, our chips are insane now. You could sit there and just do anything on mobile. So that's basically what they were saying. They're like, buy chips, in my opinion. Intel rallied as well during that time, but Intel's still missing out a little bit. All right, so this is still on this. JD actually briefly went from 30 to 36 recently, but they fell back down again. Like they had like a huge surge, like they're but with the weather, I mean globally the weather is like way more than usual. Like China temperatures went to 114 in April. India went to 126, Mexico went to 126, Texas was 100 in January and had like black skies from just tornadoes. So obviously weather's a risk. Florida ocean temperatures went to 98 at the southernmost tip. So essentially, normally the ocean temperature in Florida is like 88 degrees or 90 degrees, but going up to 98 is a ton. California went to I think 114 degrees. In not like Death Valley, which is normally hits like 126. So Death Valley is essentially, I think Iraq or Iran, they went up to like 150 degrees in certain areas. So it like on like the hottest runway for like airport travel, it was like 150 degrees or something. So I know Vulcan. So Vulcan is a cement company in the US that CNBC recommended 4 years ago when Nancy Pelosi signed like the 1.5 trillion government aid. So they recommended Vulcan very rarely in like a 2-minute segment because I watched every single hour of CNBC from 2019 to 2020. And I heard everything they said because I would call my phone and place it next to the TV. You could be a CNBC TV pro and listen to them all the time, but I would call my phone and place it my home phone and place it next to my TV while I ran. And you could listen to Twitch at the same time. So you could be on a phone call and listen to Twitch at the same time. So that's what I would do while I had my Apple Watch reading me the fly.com tweets automatically. Because I had my Excel program retweeting what the fly would post if it was new. So I was sitting there listening to CNBC and also following the earnings reports and listening and reading what the fly did. And then essentially towards like August, I even enabled anything. I would tweet out an edited picture of current stock twits trending in a square, and I was able to on my Apple Watch read what was currently trending every 2 minutes on stock twits in between all of the the fly tweets, which was huge. So yeah, I still have that as a thing. I just don't do it because you have to pay like $40 or $30 a month to be the fly premium subscriber. So I don't do that. $30 a month, which is funny because despite doing all that and also knowing all that, nobody wanted to join my Discord despite Halo, Rocket League, Gears of War 5 all being backwards compatible, Halo Master Chief Collection, and we played 10,000 hours of Halo. So yeah, obviously I wrote my coding book in June 2020, which nobody cared about. So there's really no point to trade at all. Like 0 point to trade or join my Discord, which is a meme. So Or like I couldn't deposit money in online poker. I tried 3 different ways when I had like basically $1 million. And yeah, nobody would like, it wasn't like, oh, like I'll try to see if I could deposit money in the online poker and if it works. It was like, that didn't even cross my mind as like an option, let alone going golfing, IRL, or trading, or joining my Discord, or using my new gaming PC. Not that I knew how to stream anyway, because of how bad the information is. So I just sat there with my $20,000-$30,000 gaming collection, not streaming. I watched Twitch since 2015 daily, but I did not know how to stream. I didn't know OBS because I downloaded OBS, the original version of OBS, and then I tried like XSplit Studio or something because they had earlier recommendations on the Twitch page, but OBS Studio got updated after I had tried it. So I had no idea what people used. Obviously, you get banned in Discord for talking about coding, so, which is a meme. So you get banned in Discords for talking about coding YouTube that you have. You get banned from channels for like no reason. Quite a few channels. And then you could also donate like, I don't know, $300 to like a few streamers. Before obviously bigger streamers, so you're not well regarded there. So you could do like, yeah, like $300-$400, and like the streamer, like straight up, it's like you could even post in their Discord daily, and just use it as your own journal, so they know how you made like 1800% trading options. And you could post in their Discord daily, and like they don't even, like, you could talk about games too, and they don't even, like, they're not like, oh yeah, OBS is like actually kind of cool. And they could stream daily too. And funnily enough, like, you could have a YouTube and they could have like 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and you have like your own section. So you could sit there and they don't care that you make your coding videos. So obviously, knowing how I do the coding videos, or like the intros to them, isn't something that like you need to discuss, because like you only have 300,000 subscribers, so why would you want to make timelines for games? Like, nobody cares about that. So and you could even know 2 IRL Twitch streamers, and you chat to them, and it's like you're posting on Facebook every single day. Made 5K, made 5K, made 5K. Screenshot of all my trades. Screenshot of all my trades. New game PC. Screenshot of Gears of War and Halo. And you could even like either play video games with them IRL in their apartment while you rented the house nearby. So you could be like, add them as a PS4 friend. They don't add you as a PS4 friend. But they stream, so obviously I guess they know about OBS Studio or whatever. And then like you could have one who streams even more frequently, and you could be like, oh, I'm a fan of your stream, and they'll just ignore your Facebook message. So you're just sitting there like, okay. Obviously, whenever I introduce stuff to people, I tell them about everything, so they could just ignore your message. And then you could follow up when coronavirus starts and be like, oh wow, I heard coronavirus is like actually a threat. Because it wasn't originally. But like obviously, if you don't say anything in January, then like you're at fault, because like you basically created COVID, and like you want that person to die because you didn't mention anything. But like originally, it was just like, it wasn't very It wasn't very contagious or dangerous. Or at least that's what the report was saying. Like, it took till like February, late February, mid-February to even reach America. Late February. And, like, first of all, you don't think it's going to come to America because of 9/11 and airport security. And then second of all, it wasn't even, like, dangerous because people were just getting sick and not dying. But then they started dying, like, early March or mid-March 2020. So that's when it was like, oh, wow, that's actually dangerous. Because, like, I've heard of, like, bird flu in the past, and, like, hearing about that in the past, it's like, okay, well, it's bird flu. Like, you're not gonna... Like, my high school had, like a round of, I don't know, some random thing, where, like, people were getting sick from, like, super sick from whatever. And, like we would actually get 2 days off of school for it. Or a day off of school for that back in the day. And just because of, like, warnings about it. And yeah, I mean, so that was, like, common in my opinion. But yeah, obviously my earlier chat message was still there saying that I'm a friend of I'm a fan of your stream. So obviously that's a second ignore. And then I did, like, when in March when I was like, oh, COVID, yeah, I was like, essentially I sent a picture of, like, $1,500 worth of food on my floor. And I was like, oh, I bought, like, $1,500 worth of food because you don't know if it's going to affect food at all. So that was, like, my follow-up message to I'm a fan of your stream, like, 4 years prior. So, yeah, I had, like, I don't know, 60 boxes of Nature Valley protein there. And this is greedy right here. And I don't know, like, I don't know, 5 or 8 crates of Gatorade stacked on top of each other in that picture. So that's not even a response. And you have no idea how insane. Like, obviously my friends purposely ignored me and skipped gaming completely because the real estate in the area and just how cringe GameStop they are IRL. But yeah, obviously there's like 20 billion affordable, etc., whatever. I could have bought a condo IRL in cash. I almost was able to afford a 2-person condo. I was off by like 20K, but I had 20K in unemployment coming, so I could have bought a 2-person condo with like maybe 5K in total debt, and if I just did a down payment. But it's like, obviously you're blocked for like since 2017 and you don't know why, or wasn't even aware of it. So like you're sitting there, and then obviously your friends are getting educated, or now they're getting educated, and they after the first time saying, well, you had to follow up and ask, like, did I get a response? So you had to actually follow up, which is funny enough. And then obviously you live with the person, and he also dated a similar girl. So I actually had to follow up. So then the third time I reached out, after making like another 40K, he actually ignored me, which was very interesting. So yeah, I mean, I didn't know I was blocked. So I was ready to move for like an entire year at like $1 million, basically. Which is very offensive. Obviously, streaming doesn't exist. Even if you're like posting on Facebook daily about like games or earnings, yeah, it still doesn't exist. Very offensive. Because, like, I mean, VR, obviously Oculus Quest has, like... Obviously Oculus Quest has, like, what's it called? Like, virtual desktop. But, like, the pro streamers, they're not worried about, like, PSVR versus Oculus Quest even. Like, not even close. As, like, an important thing. So, yeah, who cares if, like... You accidentally buy, like... Nobody cares if you accidentally buy the PSVR instead of the Oculus Quest. Like, they don't care about that entire $500 purchase. And obviously, it makes sense to lean towards the PS5 for, like, just Demon Souls. Because, I mean, Final Fantasy is obviously coming to PC anyway. It's like, I don't know that. Like, I don't even know how to stream. I think you need, like, a TV to stream. And my Alienware R11, obviously I can't use the Elgato to stream because it has Dolby cables. So Elgato doesn't work when you have Dolby cables instead of HDMI plugged in. So yeah, I used to use Elgato on my other computer to record YouTube videos. And I made coding videos, so like who cares about OBS Studio, right? Nobody cares about OBS Studio. So like, why would OBS Studio matter? Like, if you're coding or writing coding books. Like, nobody cares that you're recording. It doesn't make it easier. Like, you can't just... If it messes up, you can't just keep it on Twitch, right? And it's not like you game anyway, so... So dumb, dude. Nobody trades. Like, Facebook went down to, like, 130. This dude makes, like, guaranteed, like, 5 times my salary every single day. Every single year. He's made 5 times what I made in my lifetime. And he's, maybe 6 times now. Every year that goes by, it's, like, an extra decade or something. Because, like, I would have to work for, like, 4 years to make what he makes in a year. So, even despite that, obviously, my own, like, it doesn't even matter. Like, I wouldn't go golfing with my own. And then, and then it's like, okay, so your dad makes even more than that. So, obviously, I wouldn't even, like... Obviously, yeah, I wouldn't even look at the real estate. TBH. There's no reason to look at the real estate even. Despite being able to, like, build all the real estate. So, even if, like, you could build all the real estate and set up the hot water heaters and stuff, there's no reason to check it out. So I live with 4 people junior year. And obviously, being in a different country, I wouldn't acknowledge that you got a gaming PC, even though we played like 200 hours of Super Smash Brothers with another dude who didn't live with us, who also is successful. So I wouldn't even acknowledge, because like I'm already in a different country, so like obviously your country doesn't exist, even during COVID. So obviously living with the person doesn't really make sense. Because, like, you're set in the different country completely. Which is pretty embarrassing. So, not that, like, obviously I'm trying to do anything. But obviously the dude who basically ignored and walked away, like, obviously, it's not like he's going to tell any of his GFs who lived in a similar house. Because they all ignored when I messaged them about COVID. So, it's like... Because, like, they're sitting there like, oh, like, am I getting educated? Or, like, am I smart? Or, like, just cringe. Like, obviously, I'm not trying to do anything. They got some fake-ass money, dude. Because, like, I could have bought my condo in like 2017. And then on top of that, there's like 20 billion apartments. And obviously as a gamer, like I hate gaming 100%. I hate VR. Just everything about it is cringe. I don't work out. Like I needed a pull-up bar, but I used to run to the park to use the pull-up bar there with my plastic nitrile gloves, infinite supply of N95 masks. But obviously my parents know how to even codule in like my masks, like, because like you don't want people hearing that like you have masks, so like they'll like obviously like break your legs at like the bottom, and then like it's like, oh yeah, this is food. Like I work at ShopRite. I'm like a ShopRite coupon autistic like tanned leather psychopath who like watches American Idol and enjoys the dude singing and listens to Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune 24/7. So obviously it's like, oh, did Alex Trebek say that? Did he? Well, here's like my 20,000th restaurant visit. Alex Trebek. Okay. You know what I think about that? Exactly. Like I was outside on my porch yesterday. I drank my protein shake, my Premier Plus protein, and the person, they like, so this person has Web Weaver and the range is higher with Masori. So Web Weaver attacks at 2.4 like this, but it always beats me unless you special attack. Then you could interrupt and get your attack in first. All the time, even with the slower swing sword, because it immediately attacks like the Bandos God Sword. So I'm getting PvP'd. He blocked. He's level 93, that's not even fair. The fact that he's allowed to even attack me here is ridiculous, because my combat level is 116. So the difference is 23. And yeah. If he were 8 levels lower than 93, if he were under 85, he wouldn't be able to attack me. Because if you have depending on your level of wilderness, that's the range you could attack in the Revenant Cave. So I set this as my spawn point after doing Kingdom Divided quest. You could do Camelot. You could spend 5 million gold for Ferox Enclave in the wilderness near the Revenant Cave. Wow, that dude stole my last wealth ring. Oh no, he didn't. See, I don't have to look at flashing in this game whatsoever. See? My camera doesn't freeze due to flashes at all. Yeah, the recent Destiny update, I would be playing it, but I have a Marmot error. I've updated my drivers, it still didn't work. So I uninstalled it, maybe reinstalling it. I tried reinstalling it after updating my drivers, it still didn't work. So, I mean, I did this one thing with OBS in the command run as administrator that supposedly detected corrupted files, but I ran the hardware check on the Dell website. Like, you could run a hardware check for any errors, and it had 0 errors across like 32 things in 10 minutes. And I also have antivirus, obviously. Like I have, like buying Alienware Aurora R11, NVIDIA 2080 Super. Obviously, it comes with 3 years of McAfee protection. So I resubscribed for another year last year, and like with the 3080, you could obviously stream or record at 4K if you toggle it on automatically. But you do need a 4K monitor for that. I opted in because 4K monitors, now I think there's like one version that has 240 hertz, which is better for FPS or like quick games. But 0.1 millisecond, 0.1 millisecond response time, and 240 hertz is what I have on my 1920 by 1080, which is 1080p. So it's like super good for FPS games. But 4K tech now has like similar hertz and stuff, and they actually have even faster millisecond response times now, like even faster. So normally now is a good time to run out of the cave again. I'm being greedy because I don't know, the weather's gonna change soon, and I might not win this time. Yeah, I need to run away. He's still gonna attack me. Oh no, he's not. He will. Okay. So I made it out. So this is gonna hit me from all the way over there. Wow. So you can click the obelisk and then click here and stand still. Turn off auto retaliate and stand still, and then teleport to maybe level 30 wilderness to teleport back. You go run back from the 13 wilderness. It's a good way to, while you're getting PvP'd, you could teleport them away if they're dumb. And then you could also teleport both of yourselves and then try again. But like, I could use the Zamorak Godsword and try to get away as well. Like, I'm not even using a Zamorak Godsword whatsoever. And they have my world marked by a revenant, by a Dark Beast from Theater of Blood, which is not good because anybody can watch stream and then see that there is a Dark Beast there, which is not good because it's highly apparent, like, obviously, because like they have shading on the wall here. Like, if the bosses were to get more shading, I don't know, dude, or like shading that changes, that's insane. There's actually another boss in Wild Gothic Sleeps, like Tormented Demons or something. And now I could probably export like 2-hour videos with indistinguishable quality, because I was using OBS losses for 2 years. I didn't even know I could move converted videos to the external hard drive. Ancient Emblem. I didn't even know I could move converted videos to my external hard drive, because you could just move videos. I don't even need to convert anymore or encode. So essentially, yeah, I record directly to my external hard drive, which has 8 terabytes Seagate. It's only like $200. Nice. All right, so obviously we're gonna do the obvious Ancient Emblem inspect here. So let me put on my armor. So every time I need the Bandos Godsword obviously for this. So every time I obviously get, let's go over here. So every time I get an Ancient Emblem, I always drop it. Whoops. So this is one that was only worth 500k. But they have ones that are worth 16 million. So obviously here's my Ancient Emblem. So I managed to get an Ancient Emblem stream in the Revenant Cave after I got the 7 million gold Blue Moon Tassets from Perilous Moons. So if you check your log, which you get from the Varrock East Museum over here initially. So if you check your log, you can essentially Get 16 million gold, 26 million gold from crossbow in the Revenant Cave. So let's pick up my ancient emblem before someone else picks it up, because it's possible, but not right away. I always drop my stuff and nobody ever reacts. It takes like a minute or so. So I always inspect it. So you can see how many revenants you defeat with your log. So combat, more prayer. Because prayer potion, it's at a significant discount currently. Like, it just makes sense. Oh my gosh, and 9/3s. Jeez. Insane. Absolutely insane. Wow. Oh my gosh. Absolutely insane. Check it out. I'm always somehow within 130k. Luckily. No idea how. Not even doing math. It just happens. I'm like special or something. Like, I think I'm God's